What's going on, champions? It's your coach MJ back at you with another episode of Sats and Success. It's time for us to learn and grow, so let's go. Man, do I have a juicy one for you here today on Financial Friday. But I got a quick question for you. How many of you watched the last episode of Financial Friday? What about the episode before that? Now, I asked that question because if you're new to the channel, you'll notice that I often produce content in series. And same thing with Wellness Wednesday and occasionally with Sats on Saturday. Now, you can get what you need from these videos completely independently, but you get so much more watching them in succession and going back and watching the previous videos. So if you haven't watched the last two Financial Friday videos, go check those out. They are really good videos, and you'll learn a lot from them. All right. Now, today I want to get into what is about to take place in the next 3 years and what you should do to position yourself to prosper from it, to win from it, champions. Now, before I get into that, please do me a huge favor. Smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. Everything is all algorithmic these days. And by clicking that little thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel, it helps with the algorithm to push this content when it drops. Cool? Thank you. So let's get into it. Now, this will be just a tad bit of a longer video, but be sure to stay tuned to the very end because I am going to unpack this thing for you so that you not just understand what is about to happen, but more importantly, why it's about to happen and how we're going to benefit from it. All right? All right. So we have a huge problem in the U.S., champions. A huge problem. Yeah, it's huge. It's really huge. We have a budget deficit of over $37 trillion in counting. Yes, that's trillion with a T. And one of the smartest humans on the face of this planet, and Elon Musk, thought he would come in, reduce spending, and save the day. He got a peek behind the curtain, and he got hit with the Mike Tyson uppercut. It was a Mike Tyson uppercut once he saw the reality of the situation. Realizing no matter what he had done or what he had planned to do in the future, it wouldn't even scratch the surface of the debt problem. So my man, he threw in the towel, went back to running his company. Now, what I've witnessed over the years is that no previous administration has really wanted to tackle the debt problem. Didn't want to touch it. They just kicked the can down the road for the next administration to deal with. And it appears as though the current administration, they're going to face this thing head on. Like I see the plan, I see it, and I totally understand it. Now, whether or not it works, that's not for discussion today. Because when you talk about trying to tackle a $37 trillion deficit, any plan you put in place won't have any type of immediate effect. It'll have to play out over the course of many years. So this video is to prepare us to leverage the plan and the policies the administration has and will put in place. And again, make us financially healthier. Okay? Listen, don't miss this, champions. We cannot miss this opportunity. This window that's about to open, at some point it's gonna slam shut, and we cannot afford to miss this opportunity. And this is why I'm giving you this video. It's why I'm bringing this to you. The big beautiful bill was signed into law, and I'll get back to that in a moment because this bill is the foundation of this entire thing. Now, Trump has put a lot of pressure on Jay Powell, OJ Powell, Jerome Powell. He even walked over to the federal building. But he's putting a ton of pressure on Jerome Powell to cut interest rates because we got a lot of debt to refinance. And of course, it's going to be much more beneficial to save a ton of money refinancing at a lower rate versus a higher rate. But it's got to be refinanced, has to, which is again the reason why he's putting so much pressure on Powell. Now, by year's end, the rates will come down. All right, like Powell's been at a stalemate, holding rates, but the rates will be cut at some point this year. By how much, no one knows. But this will set the stage for people to go out and borrow money because money once again will start to get cheaper. And when money's cheap, people will start feeling froggy and they'll leap back into buying homes, buying cars, taking vacations, financing all kinds of other liabilities they simply have no business financing. Now, before we get into the big, beautiful bill, you have to understand the other thing this administration wants to do. They want a weaker dollar. Trump has said this several times. He wants a weaker dollar. See, a weaker dollar will boost our exports. See, our loss of manufacturing dominance has been on the decline since the early 2000s. And a weaker dollar makes U.S. goods and services cheaper for foreign buyers. And this, in turn, can lead to an increase in exports because international customers will find American products more affordable compared to those priced in stronger currencies. All right. So they want and they need a weaker dollar, and they're going to make sure that happens by any means necessary. So back to the one big, beautiful bill. I'm not going to get into the nuts and bolts of it because I don't need to in order for me to get you to understand what I need you to understand. Now, remember, I said at the beginning that we have a huge problem in the United States of America, but it's not just the US. This debt a long time ago reached a point of no return. And it's what Elon realized after taking a look behind the curtain. It's what the Trump administration has come to realize. And their plan is to grow our way out of this situation. That's right. We have to ramp up our growth. We have to ramp up our receipts. And they're going to do that by flooding the system with liquidity. Champions, ladies and gentlemen, they are going to print so much freaking money. They're going to put and pump so much liquidity into the system. It's going to be absolutely nuts. They want to do this because they want to get people outspending. They want to get businesses producing again. It's going to be nuts. Like, this is their strategy. This is their plan to focus on economic growth to address the national debt crisis. You can like it, you can hate it, you can love it, you can not love it. It doesn't matter. This is the plan, and this is what this administration is about to do. And so it's our responsibility to take responsibility for our finances and our financial future and understand this so that we can benefit from this. All right? So how do we benefit from this? Man, y'all ask good questions. And because you ask good questions, I'm going to give you good answers. Actually, I'm going to give you great answers. All right? This liquidity injection by way of tax cuts, expanded tax credits, and standard deductions is going to put more money in people's pockets. People are going to walk around feeling rich, feeling richer, and this economy is going to boom. It is absolutely going to boom. Now, people are going to fall into one of two buckets. Bucket two, because bucket one, that's reserved for us champions, us winners. But the people that fall into bucket two, they're going to be the people that are going to straight fumble the bag. They're going to straight fumble it. The people in the second bucket, they will be those who should be paying down debt with their newfound wealth, but instead they're going to be buying all types of things they definitely don't need. They'll be buying cars. They'll buy rims for the car, furniture. They'll splurge on vacation, jewelry, handbags. You get it. They will flat out fumble the bag over the next 3 years. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll see exactly what I'm talking about. You'll witness it over and over and over again. Because those of us in bucket one, we're going to stay calm. We're going to stay cool. We're going to stay collected. And we're going to let those fumble in the bag flaunt and flex on the gram, on TikTok, and on Facebook. Because what we're going to do is we're going to be very calculated with our newfound wealth. Very calculated. And the first thing we're going to do is to get rid of any and all bad debt. Let me say that again. We're with this newfound money that's going to be coming into our pockets. We are going to get rid of any and all bad debt. Remember, we have 3 years to take advantage of these policies put in place. All right. Now, for some, it may take you a year to get out of debt. Others, maybe 2 years, 2.5. That's cool. But the priority, and it is the number one priority, with this excess capital coming our way, is to get out of debt. See, you can't create wealth when someone always has their hands in your pocket. Get the hands of your debtors out of your pocket. Pay them off, be done with them, be gone. Okay? We're done. We are done. Now, once that is done, we have to create, and this is the second thing, we have to create an emergency account. Okay, we can't just jump right into buying assets like stocks, Bitcoin, or crypto, especially Bitcoin or crypto. I love Bitcoin, absolutely love it. But the volatilities of these particular assets will drive you out of them if you're not set up properly. Okay, because here's the thing: if you start buying assets before you have an emergency fund, and all of a sudden you need the funds because of an emergency, you may have to sell your assets, and you may have to sell them at a loss to cover the emergency. And for some reason, whenever you're trying to establish an emergency fund, and this is for me, and I've actually, in speaking with a lot of people, I've heard this over and over again as well. Whenever you're trying to establish an emergency fund, it seems like that's when the emergencies hit. So stay patient and don't get disheveled, or don't get dissuaded from trying to establish that emergency fund. Don't get frustrated. It happens. You start putting money away for your emergency. Next thing you know, boom, emergency hits. You cover that. You start putting money away to establish your emergency. Boom, emergency hits. I'm telling you, the first time I ever did this, first 3 times I started putting money away for my emergency fund, 3 emergencies happened. Boom, boom, boom. I was so discouraged. I'm like, man, the heck with this. This doesn't work. It does. Just be patient. For some reason, whenever you're trying to do this, I'm telling you now, and trust me, something always pops up. So understand this. At least you will have some money set aside for when it does pop up. And do not get discouraged. Okay? Don't get discouraged. But that's the second thing that you have to do. So you see, this is why there are levels to building wealth, and they can't be circumvented. We have to stay calm. We have to stay cool. We have to stay collected. In other words, be patient and let the process work. It works if we let it work. But in order for it to work, we have to follow the steps in order and not get ahead of ourselves. Okay? So again, the very first thing we're going to do with this increase of cash flow we're going to experience is listen, we're going to empty our, I wish I could say this with enough force and gravity for you to understand this. I need you to pick up what I'm putting down. I need you to understand this. The first thing we're going to do when we start experiencing this extra money coming into our pockets, we gotta get the debtors that are robbing our pockets out of our pockets. All right, we gotta empty our pockets of the debtors that's robbing us. Very important. It is very important. Then the second thing we're going to do is establish that emergency fund for when that emergency comes. Notice I said when it comes, all right? Because it's going to come. And when it comes, if you spend all your money on things you want versus only the things that you need, aka non-negotiables, where will you get the money to cover the emergency you got? Where? Because you really only have two options. Option A, you'll have to use your credit card, or option B, you'll have to borrow money from someone. Which option is a better option? Which option keeps you from being the borrower? Which option keeps you out of debt? None of them, right? And this is the point we have to get before we can even think about creating wealth for ourselves, for our family. Now, I'm going to leave you with this, and we'll pick back up on this next Friday. So don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. You don't want to miss this next week. Remember, I said there are levels to building wealth, and you can't circumvent the process. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work. And people's thought process circumvents it all the time. People's thought process, their thought process will circumvent them all the time. And then their actions will follow. Now, I'm not talking about people who have a spending problem and just love to shop. That bucket of people is a little different than the people I'm about to refer to, but they share some similar traits. The bucket of people I'm referring to are the people that think about getting rich, being rich, having money, what they would do if they had a lot of money. And it causes them, aside from just having a poor money blueprint, it causes them to do things that circumvent the process to get money fast. They want to get it fast, all right? This process is not fast, all right? These folks buy lottery tickets. These folks gamble. These folks will take unnecessary risks to make money fast instead of taking the money they get, taking the extra money they will be seeing on their checks and tax returns, and getting the debtors out of their pockets. Modern day slavery is debt. Thus, there is no better feeling on the planet than to be debt free, to owe no one nothing. The greatest feeling. With this economic boom we're going to witness for the next 3 years, the number one priority is to get out of debt first. Second, establish an emergency fund. And if we just do those two things and never get to the investing part, we're still ahead of most people walking this earth today. That's all I got for you. I love you guys. I appreciate you all. And don't forget to tune back into next Friday's Financial Friday, because we're going to pick back up right where we left off. You guys be blessed. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.